Hello everybody and welcome to today's webinar on how to build a career in cybersecurity. My name is Ranjan and I will be the host for this webinar today. Before we start today's session, I would like to give you a brief introduction about FlexMind. FlexMind is an online learning platform where SME can host and sell their video tutorials for free. You can create a video tutorial once and earn lifetime by selling this video. You can browse to our website by going to www.flexmind.co. Now let me introduce you to our speaker Sanjeev Jaiswal. Sanjeev is a cybersecurity expert having 10 years of experience and currently working for an organization called EPAM. Over to you, Sanjeev.
Yeah, thank you, Ranjan. Good morning, all. So I think we're good to start. I'm just putting you all in mute in case if. Yeah, so as Ranjan said, today's topic is how to build a career in cybersecurity. So those who are not aware of this cybersecurity thing, just hold on for a few minutes. You will know like what it is and where you will land after this webinar. So what the basic thing is, what you need is just an interest and a never give up attitude. If you have that, then the rest will fall aside. So with that, I will start my webinar. And if you face any issues, you can write in chat. Like either it's a voice or you're not able to see the slide. Okay. So yeah, let me introduce myself first. Yeah, I'm Sanjeev. My friends call me Jesse, and I work for EPAM. But whatever the views and datas or whatever I have mentioned in slides are totally mine. So EPAM is not responsible anywhere. Now my major role or my major activities goes around application security and cloud security, which we will also explain in our other slides. And I love to program specifically with Perl and Python. So, and I'm very much interested in DevSecOps and any kind of security automation, especially if it involves cloud. So these are my handles in Twitter. You can just follow me at JessieCS. Gmail, if you want to write any mail for related to any queries or anything, you can type jessiecs@gmail.com. So you will observe one thing is everywhere my handle goes with JessieCS, or you can call it Jessix. Yeah. So what we will cover today. First, we'll cover what are all the key audiences, and then what are all the job profile categories available. And we will not be able to talk about all the available job profiles, but we will talk about top 5. And then what are all the known security tools which you can have hands-on on that, and what are all the places from where you can do the hands-on in security domain. Is there any certification that you should go for your particular interest? Yes, we will discuss that also. And then we will share a few books and other online courses, just a kind of direction for you so that you can go and read all these things. So with this, I'm setting an agenda here is like, if you are not aware of anything about security, don't worry. We'll cover majority of the basic things, and I will not explain all of those topics in detail, but it will help you. Once this webinar is done, you can go there, you can just search in Google with those terms, with those topics, with those certification names, with those books, with those online courses, and you will be able to get as per your interest. Okay, so we'll see who all are our key audiences. It can be any one of you. I think you can correlate here. If you are in any of these categories, you can be a college student who are still in 3rd year, 4th year, and very much interested into the security domain. You are fresher. When I say fresher, it is like you are having 0 to 2 years of experience. Doesn't matter if you are coming from only just BTech in computer science, IT, or EC background. You are from anywhere. You are from like BCA or anywhere, right? But you are a fresher. I consider 0 to 2 years of experience as a fresher here. Then you can be a developer from 0 to n number of experience, and you love coding, but still you want to go into the security domain, or you are into the testing domain and you want to perform security testing, or you want to move from functional testing to security testing with say like less knowledge of tools or programming language. Or maybe you are already into the DevOps domain, or say like release management, configuration management, or SRE, site reliability engineer. You are coming from that particular background. So I'm categorizing everyone as DevOps here. Now the other can be system engineer, network engineer. You are already working in network operations center, NOC, or from any domain. You are from telecom domain, you are from hardware industries. So, but the only thing is you are very much interested in security. So these are the proper key audiences, and I will cover all the topics keeping mind about these categories, these audiences. Okay. So before going for anything, the first question always comes in my mind is, what are all the different job profile available in cybersecurity domain? So where I will be the good fit. So starting from like concept and other things, rather I will go with what are all the job profiles available, and then I will talk mostly about the top five, like web security is there, network infrastructure security job is there, application security, cloud security, DevSecOps, or you are not having coding experience and you don't want to go towards that coding line, then you can go towards compliance, audit. There are many things like endpoint security, malware analysis, reverse engineering, right? Like IoT security. So I'm not covering those, but those are different profiles available. And after this webinar, you will be able to understand where actually your interest lies and where you can go and do more R&D on that. Of course, we will help you even after that for your career guidance or for job switching. But yeah, as of now, we will stick with the top 5 job profile. But having said that, you are in any of this profile, you are planning to go towards any of this profile, the minimal thing that you would need to enjoy the security journey are these. You should be good at Linux fundamentals. It's not about Linux installation or knowing about the different distros. It is about you are able to do the basic work there. Like you are able to ping something, you are able to copy files, you are able to move some directories, you are able to delete few things like rm-rf, right? ls-la, cp, mv. You are able to search any string in your file like grep command, or you are able to find some file using find command. So like this, the minimal thing that you would need to work on Linux. Like if you want to install something, you are in Ubuntu, you can type apt-get. So you should be aware of this. If you are not aware of this, I will suggest just learn the basics of Linux fundamentals. And then if you are having a good knowledge of command line tools, basically like how actually you can edit your file through command line. It can be Nano Editor, it can be Vim Editor, the famous one in Linux OS, right? And then without networking fundamentals, I doubt if you will succeed in the security domain. So I highly recommend that you should start with networking fundamentals, where you don't have to go in depth about networking things, but you should understand how TCP/IP stack works, what is application layer, what is network layer, what all the protocols are in network layer, what protocols are in the application layer, for example. Like which port works for what. For example, port number 25, port number 21, if you're doing SSH, like port 23, port 53 for DNS, right? So like this. if you're working with MySQL 3306. So like that, you just need to be aware about port number and what services run on that basically, right? Like HTTP port 80, HTTPS port 443. These are the basic things that you can know within a very few days. Now, this is a recommended one because nowadays the security domain has changed. Whatever I started to see in 2010, in 2020, lots of things have changed. And one of the thing is now for any of the roles except compliance audit and few other roles, you would need the basics of understanding of any of these programming language, but not limited to. But the very famous one in security domain is Python. And now people are, even the security researchers are moving towards Go. Okay. So then understanding of Kali tools will also be very, very important if you are especially learning about penetration testing, right? So these are the few things that I will recommend before jumping towards any of the job profile where you want to apply for. And this is a common one. They will even write in the JD. I will show you also that you should be able to explore new technologies and you should be comfortable to explore these things. Yeah. So now, as of now, if you have any question, you can ask. So if not, then I will move forward.
Sanjeev, hi Sanjeev, this is Pankaj. I
Hi.
just wanted to know in slide number 1 or 2, it was said
Okay.
that any fresher can also apply, and that will not. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
This
this one.
slide
Okay.
number 4, in that it is written no fresher. So you said
Yeah.
that it would be for 0 to 2 work experience. So that would be
Yeah.
relevant work experience or just only the work experience?
No, it is just the work experience. I expect like you are coming from non-security background
Yeah,
mostly,
yeah, yeah,
and
absolutely.
yeah. And this webinar covers in that aspect. Of course, if you are into 0 to 2 years of security experience, of course, there are the ladders or there are the profiles that you will try. Let's say like you are associate security engineer, then you will try to move towards security engineer or senior penetration tester engineer, or you are already in penetration testing. Now you want to move towards cloud security, right? So you have
Sanjeev,
understanding.
one
Yeah.
thing, just in case if there's a person, you said that any BTech, BCA people can start their career in cyber security. So whether any finance person also with finance background or degree can start his career in cyber
Yes,
security?
yes, yes. It is there. Basically, you can think about audit,
Mhm.
fraud management,
Oh,
or
information system audit, I think so.
yes, yes. So there are few roles where even the finance background is required. So you can choose towards that. Like that's the reason I said if you are not interested in coding or if you're not from that background, there is a particular field like compliance, audit, risk management, or fraud detection. All those things where you might need finance knowledge,
Okay, okay.
right?
Thank you. Thanks,
So that's the,
Sanjay.
okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So I will move forward, and I will start with web security. Now, you will see lots of job profiles like web security professional, penetration tester, maybe security analyst. So any of these would require minimal of this knowledge. Like you are aware about different web services like SOAP or say like RESTful services. Right? So you should understand how REST services works so that you will be able to either bypass something or you will be able to crack few of the services that is being implemented wrongly, right? And then when you open any website, the security people will start looking for request and response headers to figure out is there any security loophole there. For example, you are sharing like XPath and you are writing Apache with the version. So you are leaking some information like I'm using Apache web server. which could be of some interest to the security people, right? So like that, there are lots of headers which tells like if that particular website is prone to CSRF, if that particular website is vulnerable to XSS, right? So kind of those details. Now, if you are not familiar with XSS, CSRF, don't worry about that. You just note down all these words, and once after this webinar, go ahead and type that in Google. You will be able to understand most of the things. So those are not very tough things, but these are the minimal things that you should be aware. I mean, I can say these are the terms that you should know anyhow. Like what are the cookies, what are the tokens, how tokens work, how I can implement HSTS, HTTP only, and what is basically the API security that I should be aware of. Then what are all the different policies where you will see like if you are working on some website, they will not open few of the images. Maybe they are following same origin policy, or maybe they are following cross origin resource sharing. They are implementing content security policy, commonly known as CSP, to avoid excesses, probably, right? Like that, there are many things. And for any web security engineer, say penetration testing, or I mean, if you are planning to go towards red team, OWASP top 10, Open Web Application Security Project top 10. You just type this OWASP top 10 in Google, you will know what it is. And even also I will explain in my further slide. So there are two particular guide I would recommend. One is testing guide, like how you are going to test for any security features and security vulnerabilities. It has all the explanation step by step with proper code snippet, which will be like very much helpful to you to understand all the above concepts that I talked about. And then if you are somehow coming from the development background, or you are interested to towards that secure code review, secure design, then code review guide would be very much helpful, right? And in any of these domains, basic knowledge of cryptography is important, like encryption, encoding, hashing. So here, base64 is one of the common thing that I think like any security engineer would know. And if you are planning to go there, you should also know, right? Then you have to make yourself comfortable with Burp Suite and OWASP ZAP proxy. So this actually helps you to figure out what is going on from your browser to server. In between, you can see all the request, response, all the data, and even you can manipulate that. So I think this is solely bread and butter for any penetration tester, right? Yeah, so I will move towards network security then. But yeah, before telling this, I will tell you like there will be a role which will be a kind of combination of all these, right? Combination of all these means the role will be like cybersecurity engineer, where they will ask you few knowledge of web security, few knowledge of network security, and then few knowledge of cloud security, kind of that. Like they will say like you should be experienced with one of the cloud service provider like AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud Platform, with the knowledge of Nmap or networking, and you should be good with penetration testing, right? So kind of those combined role will be there. I will explain that as well. Okay. So now for networking guys, now suppose you are coming from NOC background, or from the networking background, or even from the system engineering background, and you want to you are wondering where exactly I should go. So I think the most suitable security journey will be network security for you, but it is not limited. I mean, I'm not saying it is limited to that. You can go anywhere out of these profiles that I shown and whatever I will discuss. But this is the most apt profile for you, where you already know about the different network architecture. Now you just need to understand how basically the security part of that network architecture works, which means how someone can break it and how you can prevent it. So there are two roles, offensive and defensive. You get the sense, right? So like you are doing some preventive mechanism, you are implementing firewalls. There are different types of firewalls. If you're from the networking background, you will understand that. But if someone are not coming from that network background and you are interested towards network security, yes, still you can learn these concepts and you can apply for network security job profile. So again, encryption solution is one of the key for especially like digital signature and then email signature and most about this hashing things, right? PKI, and you should be able to understand even that how HTTPS works, like what all TLS version you should suggest to your client, your customers, right? And then networking commands like traceroute or curl command, wget command. So any command which involves networking mechanism. And for network security people, these are the different very popular tools which you would need day in, day out if you are with the network security background. This is Nmap. With this, you can find out which port is running, what service is running, and you can do lots of probing, like if the firewall is there or not, how you can bypass those firewall rules. You can check even what are all the HTTPS loopholes are there with this Nmap, and you can go even basically the network engineer might be knowing about this Wireshark, where they do troubleshoot of networking things. Now with this, you can even do the security part of that. And one of the key role for network security people could be intrusion detection and intrusion prevention system. So, and you should be aware about DDoS prevention attack and how basically this content delivery network works. So these are the key points for network security engineer. So now I will move towards application security, which is, I think, more important for the developers or for someone who wants to involved with the development background. I think this is the most appropriate job role for you, where it will concentrate more towards the coding thing. For example, threat modeling, how you analyze the threat before even putting into the code. So that is called threat modeling. Now, if the code is already there or somebody is going to write the code, so what are all the design principles that you will recommend? Once the code is already written, before pushing it to the production or before pushing it to any software version control system, you will check the code from the security perspective. Like if this is secure code or not. With this code, can someone do SQL injection? Can someone do XSS? Can someone do RC? Like can someone attack on our server? So these are many ways, manual, automated. So once you just search the secure code review, you will get all these ideas. So what I'm trying to do is, again, I will emphasize, these are all the keywords, these are all the concepts that you should know if you are applying for application security. And just like you complete BTech in 4 years or BCA in 3 years, or I mean, it takes time for you to complete your degree. The same way, it will take some time. So don't give up. It will take some time for you to understand all these concepts. Possibly, it may take 6 months, minimal thing, if you are dedicated to any of these profiles, but it will take more. And you should have a plan like that, like what I will do after 6 months. Should I apply? I'm starting applying in different job roles, and then you are seeing like what interview questions they are asking, and then again you are improvising yourself, and then again you are applying. So it's the long-term journey, like how you apply for 6 months and then 1 year, where you want to see after 2 years after this preparation. So like that, the journey starts from associate and it goes towards architect, principal architect, and somewhere like CISO level, right? So these are the things that you should be aware of. SAST, DAST, again, this involves secure code review, and this involves some kind of penetration testing knowledge as well. So it means you should know about web security and network security as well. Not just like those experts, but you should be aware of that. And you are always, writing your code and exposing the things in Git. So you are very comfortable with Git. And I mean, you are making most use of Git and your programming language like Python. So this role is basically for someone who is having a development experience or development background, or who are interested towards the secure coding thing. So this is basically known as application security. You will find some other job profile name as well, but I will consider that as an application security. Yeah, so I have covered the most common three things: web security, network security, and application security. So I will pause here for a few seconds, and I will encourage you to ask if you have any doubts so far. Ask anything which you don't understand so far, and if you have any confusion.
Sanjeev, I see there are a couple of questions in the chat window. Can you read it to the audience and then try answering it?
Let me check out. So there is less job for fresher to start career, then how to apply and in which skill required. Yeah, for fresher, I mean, you just choose what interests you. Don't choose like where all the most job profiles are, right? Because you will get all the job profiles everywhere, and there are less cybersecurity people around the globe, and they need more security people. So you need to understand one thing is you should be aware about the basic fundamentals, and then the job will be there. I mean, you just search for jobs.null.co.in, where majority of the security interns and security freshers jobs are posted. But you can look forward towards this LinkedIn, Naukri, and Monster as well. So does that answer your question, Satish? Okay, great. Thank you. So, Amru, okay. Yeah, if a person would like to start career in testing, which domains or courses he should look into for security testing? So I understand that when you are asking you would like to start career in testing means you are directly saying about security testing. You are not talking about functional testing. If even if you are talking about functional testing, I will consider that. And let's say like what domains or courses you should do. So first thing is OWASP top 10 guide is should be your Bible, and it should be near to your bookshelf. Always you should recommend or refer that book, which covers all the testing things that you should do step by step. So that is the one thing. Now there is one book called Web Application Hackers Handbook. That book explains topic wise, like all the OS top 10, and how basically those concepts work, and where are the loopholes, how you will find it, how you will exploit it. So those are the two things I will say, like go and start with. And then again, there are a few courses available online. I will explain that when I will explain that slide. So please hold for that. So yeah, does that answer your question now? Okay, great. So, Satish, I have given few interview as a fresher, but again, they expected advanced level knowledge. Yeah, few of the companies would be like that. They will even ask you should be aware about AWS security, CISSP, and whatnot. So don't bother about that. Just ignore few of them, but you will get lots of other jobs where they actually know what they are expecting from the fresher. And again, I will be telling like just go ahead and brush up your fundamentals. Like if I'm asking a question like say how CSRF can be mitigated, you should be able to answer that. How basically what do you understand about second order SQL injection? So you should be able to answer that, because these are the most fundamental thing in security domain, especially in web security. So if you are good with those fundamentals, I think you will land a good job. So don't worry, never give up. That's the reason I wrote never give up. VA penetration testing and all, I got rejected. Don't worry. Even when I started looking for the job, I think I was from the development background, and my main thing was like I will move towards application security, but I was rejected by most of the companies, and I started my career as a web security engineer. and then I moved towards network security, web security, and then application security. Now I'm doing my job in application security and cloud security. So it's a long journey. The only concept is never give up, and wherever you are failing, just see what I can do to correct it and come back again. Right? Yeah. So Sai Srivat. So what if someone very much interested in hacking and all? Is there any possibility? Yes, there is red team, blue team, bug hunter. I'm not explaining all these things here because these are not like, for the fresher or for someone who is coming from different background. This is, and this will need advanced knowledge. Like whatever the fundamentals I am telling, if you are good with that, then you can move towards all those things like red teaming, or you are planning to do kind of CTF where you are directly hacking the server, you are getting account takeover, privilege escalations. So yes, there are many things like that, and even the certification is there like OSCP. You might be aware of that. So yes, those are there, and I will try to explain at the end of the slide. Okay, so is that clear, Sai? Okay, thank you. Then I will move towards the other slide because I have to cover a few more, and then I will come back again for Q&A. Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes.
I think something broke from my end.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay, great. I thought like I lost you guys. Okay, just give me a second. Yeah. So I will go back and I will start where I left. Now I will explain two more job profiles. There are many, as Sivatsa was also asking, like, what if I'm interested in, deep in hacking? So server hacking or website hacking and other things. So yes, there are profiles, but I'm not discussing those part here because that is like somewhat, I will say, level 2. This is kind of level 1 or level 0, you can say, where you need to understand these fundamentals if you want to get a job in this, or if you want to excel in these profiles. There are many other things which I will explain, but there are two more profiles which are, getting popular these days, especially from the last 1 year. I will talk those two. One is cloud security, one is DevSecOps. So for this cloud security role, whatever the three different roles I said about web security, network security, application security, all those, you just mix up those fundamentals. And if you are good with those fundamentals, now if you want to move towards cloud security and DevSecOps, it will make more sense. So instead of directly moving to cloud security, I will say like go ahead with all those fundamentals that I showed you in the last slide, and then learn about the cloud computing fundamentals, like how it is different from the on-premises or traditional method, and why this is becoming very popular nowadays. So what are all the security considerations there? So there are something like security configuration you should understand, and how cloud networking is different from the traditional networking. That's why I said if you are good with the network security concept, this will be easier for you to understand cloud networking architecture. And if you are familiar with all these, application security like API kind of thing or different web services, which I talked in web security slide, then you will make more sense towards serverless architecture and security involved with this serverless architecture. As API security is one of the key for all those security role. Now here, there will be few more things like how you are how you are securing those APIs. And one of the very, very important thing is there in data security, in cloud computing, which is data security. One of the very common thing about this is in cloud computing, data security is one. which you need to understand how all this data is being stored, how this data is being used, how you need to secure it at rest, in transit. So heavy use of encryption is there, but doesn't mean that you need to know the internals of encryption, but you should be aware about symmetric, asymmetric, hashing, and maybe you should be aware about AES, RSA, Diffie-Hellman key exchange. Those are the keywords, just the keywords you just search, and be familiar with those. Okay. And one of the important part is, if something goes wrong in cloud security, how you will figure it out, how the incident response team will work. So there is one particular role in cloud security is logging and monitoring related, which is called like event handler. So you should be aware how all the things are getting logged and how you will monitor in cloud infrastructure. So there can be a role like Security Operations Center, SOC, SIM, which involves even the cloud one, right? Yeah. Now about DevSecOps. So the first thing is there is a concept going on like think about everything as a code, or at least infrastructure as a code, compliance as a code, or anything which developer is pushing the code towards production. All things should be automated, which is actually a DevOps culture. So you understand the DevOps culture. Now in each of those phases, you think like how I can implement security in that. So that becomes DevSecOps. So without DevOps, there is no DevSecOps. And you just search for the concept like people process technology and why it is very much important in DevSecOps. Now you should be enthusiastic, or you should be very much interested towards security automation. Then you will enjoy the DevSecOps jobs, and you are very much comfortable with any of the version control system. Most popular is Git. So I'm talking about Git here. And of course, if you understand the DevOps culture, you will be knowing about CI/CD pipeline, continuous integration, continuous deployment, continuous development. If not, just search this CI/CD term, search the what are all the tools, what are all the concepts in DevOps that I need to learn, and then you will move towards DevSecOps. So, and yeah, again, Python is one of the language that most of the people use, but that is not limited to. You can use a Ruby or Go as well. Well, we can even help you to understand all these things like about Ansible, Terraform, Python, or any of the concepts in cloud security, or all these 5 things that we have shared with you. We can even guide you in all these things, or possibly FlexMind is also planning to come up with all these courses in near future. Okay, so now I will stop with these 5 job profiles, and I will talk more about what are all the books, what are all the certifications, what are all the hands-on things you need to do. But before that, if you have any question, I will try to cover 1 or 2 more questions, and then we can move towards the other slides. I'm just going to see if there is any chat. Is there any approach for use case to identify hacking with pattern recognition? I think you are mostly talking about advanced persistent threat or incident handling, or maybe from the forensic side. Yes, it is there, but that is not very common. And for any of these, you would need the basic knowledge of web and network. Hi, I'm from machine learning. Yeah. Hi, I'm from machine learning background, where I can implement ML or AI models in security. Yes, mostly as of now, you will see that they are implementing network anomalies or related to spam filtering. And nowadays, I'm thinking like there are lots of this antivirus system or endpoint protection mechanism are using AI ML. Even there is a company in Bangalore, which is known as CloudSec. It deals with AI/ML based security consultancy. So yes, this is one of the domain which is like, or I will say one of the technology in security domain which is unexplored. But there are many things which is going on towards machine learning. Even there are many concepts like ML AI based. Even if you see the AWS, they are using DeepRacer, and SageMaker is there. There is one thing for S3, which is called, I think, Sealed, or Amazon Messi is there. Amazon Messi deals with that S3 data security, and it actually involves ML there. So yes, there are a few things going on, but it is mostly in R&D, and lots of job profiles are not available. But companies are working on that, especially Amazon, Google, and many startups have started this culture. Okay. So does that answer your question, Ravi?
Yes, yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So now I will move towards the other slides, and then I will take more questions in between. Yeah. Uh, these are some known security tools. If you have done any kind of security thing, you would be aware. If not, note down about these tools and see what all tools you would need for your job profile. Like Kali Linux is one of operating system that you should involve in your virtual box. Now, if you are from the networking background, as I said, Wireshark and MAP is there. And then if you are involved with application security, AppScan is there. Qualys is there for vulnerability management. Monitoring and Nagios is there. If you want to brute force or the password or the login page, Hydra, Canon, Abel are there. There are many tools, and these are the minimal that I wrote, just like tip of the iceberg. If you just see in the GitHub, you will get lots of open source tools as well for cloud security, even for DevSecOps, even for container security, which I'm not discussing in this webinar, like Docker, Kubernetes, which is, I understand it is a level 2 or level 3 thing, where first you need to understand the basic concepts about Linux and other fundamental things, networking things, then you move toward all those Docker, Kubernetes, and then move towards container security. So I'm not covering those parts, but tools are available for that as well. Now, having said that, you would know what are all the concepts you need to study, and you studied actually. You learned all these things. Even you came to know about all those tools, but where you will use it, how you will practice that. So this is the place you should practice. And basically, OWASP has all the things for web security, like OWASP broken web application, OWASP WebGoat, if you are planning to involve Java related security testing, CloudGoat, if you are planning for AWS security, DVWA, damn vulnerable web application, OWASP top 10, practice OWASP top 10 in your local machine with this vulnerable app. DVNA is for those who are coming from the JavaScript background, or those who are involved with Node.js, JavaScript, Angular kind of web security testing. So for them, it is DVNA, damn vulnerable Node.js application. The guys who are involved with Python, especially you want to know what are all the security challenges in Python framework. One of the popular framework is Django. So there is a vulnerable platform called Django.nv. You can practice on that. There are few online places where you can go for, like pentesterlab.com, vulnhub.com, hackthebox.eu. Sometime back someone asked, like, right, what if I'm interested to hack the machine or even attack the server? So hackthebox.eu is one of the place where you can practice for those. Having said that, I will show you what is there in Pentest Lab. See, this is a pentesterlab.com. There will be lots of exercises. Few of the things will be free. Few of the things are paid one, which you can play. You can start with easy difficulty, where you see Web for Pentesters. They have the example for XSS. So if you complete these 10 examples, you should be at least good with XSS. You can even clear some of the interviews related to XSS. And SQL injection, directory traversal, file include, code injection, right? And then command injection. So there are many things. Even they have very good explanation about, see, this request, get, post. That's what I was talking about, right? Request header and response header. So they have explained all these good things. You can go ahead. You can just see in pentesterlab.com. Okay. So let's say like you are familiar with all those concepts, all those tools, you are good with that. Now you have done some hands-on from there. What's next? This is a kind of option, I will say, if you're applying, but this is, a kind of, a breaker for you, like where the HR is looking for job profile, and they will check like what are all the CVs which have so and so certificate. So these are the certification bodies. I'm not talking about any of the certifications like OSCP or DevSecOps or AWS Security, CEH. I'm not talking about any of this. I'm just saying like these are the certification bodies where you can search all the certifications which are helpful for you, and even you can ask in our mailing list, or you can ask at you can ask to FlexMind about what certification you should go for with particular question, like you want to excel in, let's say, application security, and what is the best certificate that you should go for. So there is a certification called CSSLP. Now I want to excel in cloud security domain, what I should do. So there is certification from ISC Square, CCSP, and then you should move towards cloud security, particular service provider like AWS. So AWS security, Microsoft. So there is Azure security. So like that you can move. So I'm just giving you the idea, like these are the certification bodies you can search for. Okay. And these are the minimal book. Again, I will say like, it's not like you should read all the books, but choose like which interests you. For example, you are interested towards AWS security, choose mastering AWS security. You are interested in DevSecOps, choose secure DevOps. You are interested in web security, you want to hack all the websites available near you, right? Or you are registered in Bugcrowd, HackerOne, and you want to know like how I can get the bug bounty things. Just go with OWASP guides and Web Application Hackers Handbook. You're from the application security background, read about writing secure code. This is one of the book which has been published by Microsoft. Then API Security in Action is still in draft mode, but it is one of the good book coming in future, which will give you all the idea about what you should learn in API security. Threat modeling, there is only one book so far. I mean, there are many books, but only one book so far, very much popular. It is known as Threat Modeling by name itself, and the writer is Adam Sostak. You can search for that. Right. So these are some of the book collection that, of course, I have not collected this in 1 day, 1 month, or 6 months. It took me almost 10 years to collect these books. So you will see some of the books which I have suggested, like cryptography engineering, thinking security, all these certification based. Even there is a book called Web Application Hacker Handbook. This is the book I was talking about, threat modeling. So you can go ahead. You can learn this. If you enjoy Git, you can have this book. Security automation, if you are interested, you can learn this book. So if you're involved with DevSecOps, basically go ahead and learn this. First of all, this Phoenix project. These are a few books in Perl and Python. Okay. So now, I'm ready to learn some books. I bought some books, or I found some way to read those online. Good with that. But I want to, fasten those things. So I want to basically learn from where I can get the video courses, video tutorials, and specific to my skills, and I want to learn that. So Cybrary is one of that. Most of the things they are providing free. Open security trading, if you are involved with say like reverse engineering or binary cells, like x86 related things, it is there. SecurityTube is also becoming very famous. They have launched Attack Defense Lab as well. Of course, YouTube is anywhere. You just search those terms and you will get lots of YouTube videos. Just see which one is for you. A Cloud is very much specific towards cloud certifications. EDX, Udacity, and Coursera. Like Coursera is one of my favorite place because most of the professors are from Stanford, UC Davis, Princeton University, who explain about all the things available in the market, and you can even search about security things. So there is one course called Introduction to Cybersecurity Specialization, which covers whatever I have talked so far, like network, web, little bit about cloud, little bit about DevSec, little bit about agile security methods. So all these things are being covered by Coursera, that is known as Introduction to Cybersecurity. Now, you are good with all these things, but nobody is able to refer you, or you don't know anyone whom you can say like what I should read. So basically, you should find out some mentors. You should find out some like-minded people. Go out, of course. I mean, not now, but yeah, go out and join any of these local chapters. Like Null is very famous one. OWASP, B-Sides, these are very famous one. I think Null chapter will be almost everywhere, especially like Bangalore, Pune, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Chennai, Delhi, Ahmedabad, all places these are there. Join some mailing list. Null Google group is one of the recommended Google group that I will recommend. Then there is something called international events like DEF CON, Black Hat, NullCon, Seasides. Try to attend it at least once or twice to understand what type of people are coming there, what type of topics are going towards, right? And if you are searching for job, apart from Naukri, Monster, LinkedIn, try to search in jobs.null.co.in as well, because all the security companies are also posting jobs here. Some of the time you will see like these jobs are not posted in anywhere, but it is posted in jobs.null.co.in. So it will be a good opportunity for you if you are hunting for some jobs. And yeah, meet like minded people, join some LinkedIn groups. Even we have a group like FlexMind has also a group where we discuss about all these things. Make some good contacts, like-minded contacts in LinkedIn, and try to talk to them. Follow few people in Twitter. Why Twitter? Because most of the security professionals are very active in Twitter, not in just in India and the US, everywhere. So even we are also active. I am also very active in Twitter. So you can follow my Twitter handle, and you will get all the latest updates that we are working on. And then bookmark some few of the security websites. Let's say like AWS security blog, Azure security blog, Google security blog, Skyner and security, Sophos, then like Cisco security, IBM security. So see all those sites and see what you should bookmark. Okay, so with this, I'm done with the presentation, and thanks to Ranjan and thanks to FlexMind for giving me this opportunity to showcase my skills and to help the people who are actually in need of any kind of career guidance related to this. So those are the top 5 profiles where even I and FlexMind can help you to hone your skills. With this, I'm just ending this presentation. So for any further queries which I will not cover in your QA session, you can actually contact at learning@flexmind.co with your specific question. Be very specific and be very detailed. We will answer your question within 24 hours. Okay. So now I just wanted to show a few things before going for Q&A session. This is owasp.org, owasp.org, where you will see all the OWASP projects, even what we talked, like OWASP testing guide, OWASP broken web application, anything. There are lots of projects going on. These all are open source. So enjoy these things. And now what I told you, you might be interested, like, is there any JD for that? How I can search it? So I'm just searching the LinkedIn and I'm showing you it. You see, this is about security engineer 2 in Amazon, or basically it is application security related role. So what role that is satisfying there? You see Fortify, AppScan, or Web Inspect. So this is application security tools. I also explained about AppScan in one of my slides, right? Then 2 years of experience, any combination. That's why I was telling you, it is not like if you're applying for cybersecurity engineer or application security, you should be aware about the combination of these. What combination? Threat modeling, which I already explained, secure coding, identity management and authentication, which is cloud security part, software development, cryptography, as I said, like for network security, for web security, for application security. Cryptography is one of the key that they are looking now, and system administration, network security. So you see, it is a combination of all this. Doesn't mean you should be aware of all these things. It's a combination. So, but few of the things, at least if you are saying I'm good at application security, so you should be good with this. If you are saying I'm good with network security, you should good with these. And these things, maybe they will ask very few questions, right? So this is what with 2 years or 3 years experience, we'll look forward towards 4 to 8 years of experience, guys, where you see they are looking for secure SDL, right? And then they are telling about SAST, DAST, SP45 is must, and like black duck. These are just name. It's not black duck. It's a black duck. Anyways, then penetration testing, like web security, application security. I explained about Burp Suite, how it is important, and then secure development life cycle. You will have all these things in part. So these are the things. Application security certification they are saying, but they are not writing any name. So it is CSSLP you should try, and you will see this side lots of jobs, security risk and compliance, where there is no code required, as Pankaj asked about this, right? So you can look for all these jobs as well.
So I think Sanjeev, now we should open the stage for like participants. If at all they want to ask any question, guys, please feel free to ask.
Yeah, guys, if you have any question, maybe we can extend till next 5 minutes, and we can try to explain your questions. It can be anything about any certifications, books, courses, specific question.
Guys, if you cannot like think of a question right now, because I totally understand that if you're new to cybersecurity domain, maybe like most of the people will not have much clue about things. I urge you to reach out to us. We have got a very good team of SMEs who are like having varied experience around information security, pure technical profile. So I think we can surely do the initial hand holding as to like whichever direction in which you want to gain expertise. We can surely help you. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, I have completed CISE, like Certified Information Security and Ethical Hacking. Again,
Okay.
Certified Network Security Specialist, OpenShift Engineering, Cyber Security and Trade, and Red Hat Linux Administrator. That 2 courses I am currently learning. But still, I want to ask you, what I have to do for next shall I get more courses or anything?
I think your voice is breaking. So can you just type that question, or anyone who is, about to ask any question, can you guys type?
Hey Sanjay, I have one question.
Yeah.
So basically, there are some people like we are the developer in our company, and we want to know like at least what are things which can help us. We don't want to go into the too deep into the security part, but what are things we should consider? Like we should know while developing our product, or like you know what I'm trying to ask. Right?
Yeah, I understand. So there are few things. If you are having, let's say, like more than 5 years of experience in development background, there is a concept called security championship, where you are the guy from your development team who is aware about the security thing, not of course in depth, but you are aware like how basically to mitigate these, where these sources will be available. So yes, you can be a security champion in your team, and you will be the liaison between your development team and the security team, right? So that is the one role. That is the one role. There are a few other things. For example, you should be aware about secure code review. So that whenever your developer is pushing the code, you basically do the code review from, anyways, you might be doing the peer code review, right? So instead of just peer code review, just clean code, you will now check for the secure code as well.
Okay.
Right.
So basically, these roles are basically interface between the developers and the security folks. Actually, so this will work as an interface, right?
It will not just work as an interface. You have to fix those bugs as well. And
yes.
Before hackers will find those security vulnerabilities, you security team are aware, because see, you are the one who is writing the code. So most of the bugs, I will say 80% of bugs are because of either security misconfiguration or because of code related issues, right?
Okay.
Like nobody will be able to do XSS SQL injection if there is no code bugs. So you can understand about secure coding, what are all the vulnerable functions which I should not use. Like let's say like the people are using cryptography, but they are not aware which one is the strong cryptography that they should use. And they are thinking like base 64, I'm doing base 64 and coding, so it is safe. It is like a security by obscurity. Like you are putting your head into the sand and thinking like there will be no hack, right? So yeah,
Got
it's
it.
like that.
There's one more area actually in the pen testing actually. So what happens? We develop product, we ship it, and then some other team or some pen testing team just go through our product and they file lots of bugs. So how we can reduce that part actually? So
Yeah, that's why first there are two things. Because you are a developer, it will be very easy for you to automate few things. Right. So now, if you want to reduce any type of those kind of vulnerabilities or any kind of bugs, you basically have to automate few things. So before pushing the code, there are minimal things that you should check, like a security bar gate. Like if you have this type of functions writing, if the function requires 3 parameters to be secured and you find 2, even you are using the secured function, but with the 2 parameters instead of 3, you will block it. Those things will simply reduce the numbers. Okay.
Makes sense.
Great. Yeah. So Satish, I have gone through so many things and what I should do next, or any suggestion for particular courses for fresher. See, I will again suggest, instead of going for those certification other things, rather what are all the security fundamentals that I said like you should try. So basically you should try to learn from OWASP testing guide, buy a book called Web Application Hackers Handbook, learn these two things, and hands-on is important. You do hands-on. You try to find out the bugs in the application which is already vulnerable, which I shown there. If you are good with all the fundamentals and you are able to hack those type of things, then try your hands on Vulnerable Hub or Hack the Box or even in HackerOne or Bugcrowd, and then see what all things you can do. Right? Because certification is somewhat, I said, like, yeah, it will good to have you, but this is like ice on the cake, right? It is not so important at all for the fresher, but yeah, the concept is very, very important. So learn about how the networking thing works, how this TLS works, why so many bugs were there in TLS even we are saying HTTPS, but HTTPS is also not so secured. What is security in depth? Right? So all these things try to understand same origin policy, try to understand different header analysis, and try to use some of those tools like Nmap, Burp Suite. If you are good with those things, I think you will crack some job easily. So I will suggest don't go for any kind of certification as a fresher as of now. Rather, go with the fundamental thing and then try for the certification just to clear some HR round. Yeah.
Sanjeev?
Yes.
Yeah. What you suggest for people who are changing their domain? Like if, for example, if I have like 5 years of experience in some other like system administration domain, so I want to convert. What you suggest, like a best plan kind of?
Yes. So that's a good thing that you said, like you are from system security background, or say like just from the system background. So I assume that you are a system engineer and you are aware about Linux and you are aware about networking fundamentals. So these are the two things you are very comfortable with. Then I would suggest you to go towards two things. Either you can go towards network security field, where all your knowledge that you gained in last 5 years would be useful, or you can try for cloud security, especially start with AWS or Azure, where they would surely need network knowledge. And there is something like event handling, where you will be very good fit for first, and then move towards any architect role and other things. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. We can have one or two more questions if you have. Otherwise, we'll wind up. Yeah. So try to follow us over that LinkedIn. So this is our LinkedIn channel, FlexMind-Solution. and you can tweet about this webinar, how you found about it, and what is your feedback about it. So go ahead and if you have not any Twitter account, you want to be a security engineer, I would suggest go ahead and open with Twitter account and suggest something about this webinar. So this is my handle, which you can see, and there is then handle from the FlexMind, which is FlexMind_CO. So you can follow us and you can tweet about it. And whenever you are tweeting, please tweet with FlexMind hashtag, so that we will know that you have tweeted about it.
Okay, so I think Sanjeev, we can stop here.
Yeah, we can.
I must say that it was a very enriching session. I myself learned a lot of things. So thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. So to the participants who gave their time, thank you so much. Stay tuned to FlexMind LinkedIn profile for future webinars. I hope that we'll be able to help you in